Shadows in the Smoke is intended for mature audiences and may contain material that some people find disturbing. Please see the episode description for content warnings and listen with care. Mr. John, this crouched girl, looks at you, grinning, and then her gaze travels back to Brother Elijah, who with trembling hand is picking up an iron crucifix and drawing it ever so slowly to plunge into one of his eyes.
I split my lips in an equally large grin, wolfish, some might say, and growl, "Hello, little girl." And then I go and I snatch Elijah's wrist, like I did Vera's throat.
This sounds like a night move with vitality. What are you afraid will happen if you fail?
That crucifix is coming for my eyes. And what big eyes they are.
It's worse than that. The demon, after taking your eyes, will inhabit your body and will walk out of Kilburn Abbey with you in search of pious souls to torment.
I mean, I'm gonna do that anyway, but I'd like to do it with my eyes. 2 + 4 is 6, + 2 is 8.
Mr. Lloyd, I'd like to pick back up with you. What would you like to do for the remainder of your day?
Given that he has just seen a very clear supernatural sign of the statue crying, he's going to ride this. Mr. Lloyd is going to feel the energy within him. He's going to close his eyes and just wander, letting his feet fall where the spirit takes him.
Your eyes close as you take to the streets of London. You hear the passers-by of carriages, of people, but it all seems quiet, fuzzy. And then everything comes back into sharp focus as your feet naturally come to a stop. And you look up, and it's a location that you mayhaps have heard of. It is the mortuary belonging to one Bartholomew Gastrell, where you know the body of the girl sealed up in the wall currently is.
Does this mortuary have like a workman's entrance or another entrance that isn't the front door?
Yeah, I would say so.
Then I think Morgan is going to do his best job of looking like some dog's body who's come here to move something here or there, lift something heavy, whatever, and just try and sneak in the back.
Miss Douglas, what about you? What's the rest of your day?
I think having collected the pearls, she wants to string them together, and she doesn't really know where to do that other than going back to Mr. Clemenza's, and I think she'd go there to have that be done. Right into the lion's den, as it were.
Miss Douglas, you find yourself once again walking down that same fashionable street that you walked with Miss Thanero. And as you approach the modiste that belongs to Mr. Clemenza, you hear the muffled exclamation of joy from the other side of the window as he quickly motions for an assistant to open the door for you. I had been hoping to see you again, miss.
Mr. Clemenza, hi. I had a request of you for today, if you don't mind.
Yes, of course, dear child. How could I help you?
I have been collecting pearls all day, and I was hoping that you could help me put something together. Your keen eye, obviously, being what it is. I want to put something together for Miss Thanero. Just a gift.
Yes, I believe that I have some thread that could do quite nicely.
Right, well, she fishes into her pocket and just, hands him a bunch of loose pearls.
And just start spilling all over this modiste, and we see assistants flying to and fro to try to catch all of these little pearls and collect them into a neat little pile. While you're here, my dear, could I interest you in perhaps a fitting? The right clothes can turn a chimney sweep into a prince, that's what I always say. Or princess, as it were.
Well, I'm no chimney sweep, but yeah, all right. Do you have anything in a tartan?
Do I? And he motions for an assistant to open up a drawer, and there's all these beautiful folded pieces of tartan wool.
Maisie starts just like running her hands over them and selecting any of the ones that have like blues in them, just because that matches sort of her style already. And yeah, happily takes a page out of Ina's book and tries to like let herself enjoy having other people take care of her and dress her in pretty things.
One of the assistants is quickly pinning that wool tartan about you, taking measurements, and Mr. Clemenza is standing by with a little notebook. He's writing in it. Now, last time you were here, you did bring in that most interesting pelt. I don't suppose you have it on you.
No, that is a very precious article of mine. I don't really bring it with me very often, but last time I didn't know I was going to find myself here today, but last time I did, so I knew I would bring it and you'd hopefully be able to help me fix it a little bit more, but I don't have it today, no, sorry.
What a shame. It was such a pretty thing, that pelt. I've never quite seen anything like it. Where did you say that you were from, my dear?
Just the north.
Very vague. Very mysterious.
Well, I'm not really from anywhere specific. I've done a lot of traveling, so.
You know I have ears everywhere, Miss Douglas. A girl such as yourself, wandering around all sorts of stylish places with no shoes, you do catch notice.
You know, I've been meaning to wear shoes more often. I just really don't like the feel of them.
I've heard some people say that you spend quite a lot of time near the water.
Yeah, well, as I said, done a lot of traveling, mostly by sea, so I guess I find it comforting. Where are you from originally?
Here, of course.
With a name like Clemenza, it seems a bit odd.
My dear, London is a beautiful mix of people from all over the world.
You're right about that.
I did hear the most odd story.
Oh.
About you, about the water.
Do tell.
About what happens when you step into the water.
Do tell.
Well, someone said you change into the most curious of creatures.
Well, and who might be telling that to you?
Oh, I never reveal my sources, madam.
Well, I wouldn't be trusting just about anyone, what you hear. London is a big city, isn't it?
I feel like this is the day move. What are you afraid will happen if you fail here?
I think if Maisie can't get herself out of this one, Clemenza will have someone follow her home.
This is going to be a day move with presence.
Lord, okay.
I do think this is taken at disadvantage because you have the condition, the notice of Mr. Clemenza.
I do. Oh, Lord. It's all good. It's gonna be fine.
If you have a personal quarters item, you can invoke it if you'd like to make it a flat roll. Otherwise, this will be rolling 3d6 and taking the two lowest.
Okay, I do think Maisie is gonna pull the locket from around her neck. You know, we never discussed payment for any of this, for the necklace, for the dress, for the tartans. Would you be interested in an item such as this? And she holds out this golden locket to Mr. Clemenza.
Okay, go ahead and mark that personal quarters item, and this is going to be just a normal 2d6 roll plus presence.
Delightful. Oh, that's a 6. Okay, I'm gonna use a mask because I don't want to lose at this.
Okay. What mask are you thinking?
My first mask of the past.
All right, Miss Douglas, what is your first prompt for your mask of the past?
My first prompt is narrate a flashback to when you were a young child, playing with your fellow Selkies and sea creatures. Before I came to London, before I even knew what London was, I would spend my days diving and darting through freezing dark waters and warm back up in my mother's embrace. I chased silverfish with my sister, and we'd have contests to see who could hold their breath for the longest, and the whales were always so much better at it than we were. I learned to scare the living daylights out of seagulls in order to steal their food from my auntie, and when the skies were clear and bright, I'd spend hours on sun-baked rocks with my cousins, cracking shells or simply napping in the pleasure of the sun. At night, exhausted and satiated, we'd climb back up the shores and peel our pelts away to gather around fires, tell stories, and sleep beneath the stars. And I remember one night in particular, around the time I was 9 years old, when my mom pointed out a set of constellations in the sky to me. It was her and me, she said. Those 4 stars make the body, and the 3 stars behind a flippered tail. Can you see it? It's just like yours, little one. And I'll always be by your side, just like that, swimming right next to you. And that thought keeps me going even now, even when we're miles away, knowing that at least she and I are together in the sky.
Miss Thanero, how would you like to spend the rest of your day?
I'm feeling drawn to this rumor that's circulating about the Fountain of Youth, and I think I want to swing over to a patisserie under the guise of picking up some petit four for all of my lovely fellow hunters. And I'd like to see if maybe Dame Margaret Teasdale is holding court this afternoon.
Miss Thanero, you find yourself at the patisserie that you know through your various social circles that Dame Margaret Teasdale loves to frequent. It is this beautiful, airy space. It is done up in pastel pinks and purples, little delicate white furniture. We hear the sounds of ladies gossiping. I have a paint the scene for you all here. This patisserie prides itself on using only the rarest and most exotic ingredients. I'd love for you to describe one such exotic petit four that is on display here.
There are thin boxes of macaroons in every color, covered in gold flakes.
I see like a little white cake with like a single chocolate-covered coffee bean on it, and then the thinnest strip of Madagascar vanilla on the top of it.
There are small, fairly traditional fruit tartlets, but instead of being made of the apples and red berries that you might expect for a British tartlet, they have tropical fruits from all over the Pacific.
And because this is Victorian London, there are also candied half-moon eyes, which are whale eyes, but they are perfumed to match the rest of the floral scents of the shop with actual perfume made of ambergris.
Ew. I'll say it.
Girl, you live in the water.
She likes her whale eyes raw.
Those
right?
whale eyes belong to her friend.
Candied, disgusting.
That was my friend.
Yeah, they're not holding their breath anymore, are they?
Oh,
It was a devastating time.
oh no.
Ecologically, the planet will never recover.
Miss Thanero, it's not hard for you to find Dame Margaret Teasdale, for she is sitting at the place of honor in this little patisserie on a little cushioned chair with all manner of ladies arranged about her, all of them gossiping behind fans as they eat delicate little petit four. She is dressed in the most sumptuous finery and jewels, but most notably, her facial features appear quite stiff, and there is a waxiness to her unlined complexion.
Ina has absolutely seen all of this, but I think she's going to play hard to get and let Margaret see her. So instead of like walking over and saying hello, Ina's going to go up to the counter to a familiar face and is going to request her normal order from the patisserie attendant.
What is that order, out of curiosity?
I think a little bit of what everyone described. Just a nice arrangement of wonderful things for her fellow hunters. Everyone likes sweets.
As you do so, you hear a voice call out, "Excuse me, miss. That is the most charming outfit you're wearing. I do wonder where you purchased it."
I think Ina is slightly pausing at charming. I think that for her is not the word she prefers to be described by. So I think she very gently turns over her shoulder, looks to the person in question. "Why, darling, I only get my finery from Vittorio Clemenza, of course. Where are you shopping these days? This outfit is something."
Dame Margaret Teasdale, if it were capable for her to glower, she would.
"I must say, though, dear, you're looking well. What have you been up to get this sunny complexion?"
Oh, isn't it just? I say, I feel 10, 20 years younger than I did previously. And it's so subtle, too.
"Yes, no one would ever know anything has happened. How on earth do you do it?"
You see, darling, I reject, out of hand, and in the strongest possible terms, that we are all fated to shrivel up like prunes. Let others be stately or grow old with dignity. But I I seek the eternal. And you know what? I found it.
My, such a secret must have cost you dearly. I wonder if you'd be inclined to share. One can never start too early on their quest for eternal youth.
It's true. I'm sure in just a few years you will be in need of such services that I acquired, and of course I would be happy to inform you of all the careful consideration that I gave. I'm more than happy to share my sources to a close friend. We are close friends, are we not?
Oh, my darling, how could you ever ask me such a thing? Of course we are. And you know I would be ever so grateful for your knowledge. You are so very wise.
Information move with presence.
You got it. I rolled snake eyes, so it's a 4.
Back to Kilburn Abbey. Mr. John, you wrench this crucifix out of the trembling hands of Brother Elijah. As you do so, you feel the crucifix sink into your cheek and drag across your face, leaving quite a gash there. Take the condition scarred face. When you look back to that corner, the girl is no longer there. Brother Elijah is on the floor, pale and trembling and gasping for breath.
You all right, boy? I said hello to our little friend, but she seems to have taken off.
So you saw her too, then?
I saw her. I don't think I just did this for fun, to improve upon my pretty complexion.
No, yes, of course, and thank you, sir. If you had not been here, I hesitate to think what it might have made me do.
You seen her before?
I have, sir.
She make you do things often?
Not me, not until today, but others. Yes, sir. Do you know what manner of creature this is?
That's a demon. No two ways about it. Fucked up little girl like that inhabiting a church, making God-fearing people act all pervert-like. That's a demon.
I seek to put a stop to it, sir.
You and I both, brother.
I'm relieved. I don't suppose you have experience in banishing such creatures.
Of course I have. I hunt just about everything there is to hunt.
Oh, you do?
That I do.
Oh, thank goodness. Then tell me, what is it we should be doing?
No, not here, Elijah. There's all manner of sorts that might be listening. I don't know where that girl gone. But you want to come, say, a couple nights from now, I'll meet you with some of my colleagues, if you will, my brothers in arms. I'm going to gather some information. See, each demon, well, I shouldn't say too much, but you can't just treat them catch-all like. You gotta prescribe to a particular flavor. I need to know everything I can about this little girl, so anything you can tell me, I'd appreciate it.
Go ahead and make the information move with presence, please.
I'd also like to find if this abbey has a basin of holy water. I could just head toward that. That's a 10.
Mr. Lloyd, you enter through the back of this mortuary. As you do, you hear a faint dripping noise of some neglected pipe. You hear music further within this mortuary. Quite romantic classical music.
Mr. Lloyd, pulls his cap down a little bit lower and sort of hunches his shoulders, just sort of trying to look as though he is the sort of person you might ignore.
As you step further into this mortuary, you begin to hear a man's voice. He is speaking aloud poetry. When you step further in, you see the bright lights of a mortuary. You see a body covered in a sheet on a cold table. But next to it is a rather plush couch. And seated on that couch is a man in well-kept clothing with a very stately mustache. He's holding a glass of port in his hand as he reads from a small book of Byron. And on that cheek and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smile that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent.
Beautiful, boss. Sorry, didn't mean to bother you. Didn't realize there'd be anyone here. I'm just here to pick up some refuse that I was told needed clearing away.
Yes, of course. I haven't seen you around, I don't believe.
No, I'm Henry's cousin.
Oh, yes, of course. Then I assume Henry told you the way.
Yeah. Don't mind me asking, is that a real body under there?
Yes, of course it is, sir. How's your stomach? Is it strong?
Well, I reckon it's strong enough. Don't suppose I could have wee butchers at it.
Mr. Gastrell smiles at you. I like to read to them sometimes. I believe it calms the spirit inside, if there is a bit of the soul that remains when we pass on. I must warn you though, sir, this is a curious sight. And he peels back the sheets, and you see the body of the young girl from Kilburn Abbey. She looks to be about 11 years old. As you're pondering that, I have to paint the scene for you all here about Gastrell's mortuary. What here reminds you of the first time you were confronted with death?
The sheet covering her. One shot grew up in Savannah, Georgia, which is a port town in the American South in the mid-1800s. And when he was a little boy, sitting on the dockside waiting for a shipment of silks to come in for his father's textile mill, he saw a crew of men dumping the chattel slaves that had died on the Middle Passage overboard into the bay like they were nothing.
Maisie is not a stranger to finding the bodies of sea creatures washing up on shore, and all bodies carry the same glassy, unseeing eyes.
For Morgan, it's actually the music that is playing that reminds him of his early experiences with death. The woman who raised him used to keep the dead from time to time, stay up with the ill as they breathed their last breath, and watch over them as their spirits left their bodies. And she would often sing little songs to herself. And when Morgan joined her on those rounds, he found comfort in those songs she would sing.
I think for Ina, it is the child herself, because she has lived for eons and has seen so many young children either die young or grow old and die of old age. So I think it's just the youth itself that reminds her that everyone is young and everyone dies.
Mr. Lloyd, what are you doing?
Well, speaking of the woman who raised him and keeping the dead and all that, Morgan is one of the cunning folk, so he's been trained to see the signs of witchcraft and other dark sorcery upon bodies. So that's what he's looking for.
This sounds like an information move with sensitivity. Let me take a look at your conditions. I think some people are beyond saving could be at play here.
I rolled a 12, and the third die was a 1.
No!
Dang
That still
it.
means it's a 9 and a success, but not a mastermind clue.
Let's go back to the modiste, please. Ms. Douglas, you are going to be able to intimidate Mr. Clemenza into not pressing this matter further. What is it that you say to him?
In offering this locket, Maisie clicks it open and shows the shark tooth that lies inside of it. What you may have heard may be true, maybe not, but wouldn't you rather be on my good side if it were?
Right you are, madam. Who among us has not come to London for a fresh start, a new identity, a new look?
And what a better place than a modiste for a new look.
I think this is a fine price, madam. I thank you, and I assure you, you will have my discretion, the way I do all of my treasured clients.
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling in this moment?
Maisie's heart is beating out of her chest, and she is trying so hard to not lose it in front of this guy because she is not used to threatening anyone. But I do think she feels very proud of herself for having managed to keep it together and not give away, not necessarily not give away her secret, but at least come to an understanding where she knows that she is secure.
Miss Douglas, I would like you to remove the condition, the notice of Mr. Clemenza, and I would like you to replace it with self-satisfied.
Delightful.
I think the rest of this appointment goes by in almost an uncomfortable silence. Mr. Clemenza asks you the questions that he professionally needs to ask you, but any sort of camaraderie or chit-chat is gone. His assistants pin and sew quickly and quietly, and at the end of this appointment, you are given a brand new tartan skirt and the strung necklace of pearls, and very quickly seen out of this shop.
Maisie equally spends the appointment, trying to not step on any toes, just doing what she can to not be in the way, but get it done. And I think she takes her boxes and holds her head up high and walks back to Hargrave House.
Back to Kilburn Abbey. Mr. John, Brother Elijah starts walking alongside you as the two of you walk back towards the entrance of this abbey, and as he's walking, he is telling you about his experiences with the demon. I hear it sometimes, sir. Whispering, just whispering. Tempting words. Pretty words. It's when you answer those words that it takes a hold of you, makes you do the most unspeakable things. I've never experienced quite what all just happened with that crucifix. I've never felt that way before, so out of control, not responsible for what I was doing. The thought that I could have hurt myself, hurt someone else. I shuddered to think of it.
Didn't take it too hard there, brother. Sometimes I pay extra to be hurt like that.
As you were walking, he stops by a font of holy water that is near the entrance of this abbey. Very quickly dips his finger in and makes the sign of the cross in front of him and in front of you. Blessings be upon you, sir. I do hope that with your help we can put a stop to this.
Can you show me how to do it? A gesture like dipping my fingers in.
Yes, of course. And he goes about showing you the motions.
I would like to hold his head under the water, please. I think this motherfucker's possessed.
What?
Woo! All right.
I thought you were joking, but now I see you're not.
No, I want to get him close enough to like show me how to do the water, and then I want to put his head and dunk him under, and I want to see if this girl flies out of him.
Okay, fantastic.
Oh my
Lord.
God.
I won't kill him.
We'll see. This sounds like a night move with vitality.
I'm scared that I'll accidentally kill this boy, and he is not possessed, and I will just murder a monk in an abbey.
Mr. John, it's worse than that. Drowning Brother Elijah will unleash such a demonic presence that all of the monks in Kilburn Abbey will begin killing each other and then themselves.
6 and 3 plus 2 is 11.
Let's go to what seems to be an equally perilous situation, which is Miss Thanero and Dame Margaret Teasdale.
These two situations are one and the same.
Dame Margaret Teasdale motions for you to sit at her little table. Mainly motions for two lesser ladies to move down and provide you with a seat so that you can sit right next to her. And she takes your hand in her gloved hands. Well, of course it was all rather clandestine. I felt like a character in a romance novel skulking through alleyways. I, of course, didn't get officially introduced to the doctor prior to the procedure. It was all very mysterious, very cutting edge, literally, I suppose. But it was the oddest little boy that was leading me to this fantastic doctor.
Well, you weren't in any danger, were you?
No, of course not, my dear darling. I wouldn't be recommending it if I were in any danger. Sometimes true artistes like a bit of dramatic flair. I imagine it was the case with my wonderful doctor. Yes, we were never formally introduced, but she took my money, and I am quite pleased with the work that was done.
As well you should be.
I do like you.
Oh, I like you too, darling.
What a fun chance interaction this was. Oh,
The
my
most
dear
fun.
darling. What was your name, dear?
Ina, darling.
Oh, dearest Ina. Pray, what are you doing for the rest of today? I don't suppose you could just sit and gossip. It's been so long since we've had any fresh blood in this group, and I'm sure you have the most salacious of stories.
Oh, that I do. But I am afraid I do have a meeting with some very dear friends of mine, and I just can't slip away from that. But another time. How about next week, dear?
Oh, yes, of course, darling, but I will expect all of the juicy details with whoever you might find yourself with until then.
Oh, I shall spare you no detail at all. You will get every last crumb.
Miss Thanero, take the condition a close friend of Dame Margaret Teasdale.
No.
Back to Gastrell's mortuary. Mr. Lloyd, as you are examining the body of this girl, this perfectly preserved child, for just a moment you see this shadowy moth land on her collarbone, settle there for a moment, and then fly away. if you were to gently peel the woolen shift away from the girl's neck, you would find a series of arcane symbols painted onto this girl's skin. And that is a clue.
Morgan makes a big show of being disgusted by, seeing and smelling a dead body for the first time, as far as this mortician knows. Oi, that's disgusting! Oh, the smell, the pong of it! Oh, how can you stand it?
You, sir, are a horrible actor.
Whatever could you mean by that?
Don't get me wrong, sir. I love the theatrics. I'm a bit of a romantic at heart, even though my work is quite clinical. I am a good friend of Hargrave House. I don't know you, but I have heard of you, Mr. Lloyd. Is that correct?
Well, if you've heard of me, then you know probably what it is I do for Hargrave.
I do, yes.
And you're aware that this body has foul magics upon it?
Yes.
And have you had any of the cunning folk in to take care of that for you?
No, sir. But I've been keeping her so that you and the rest of the residents at Hargrave House may do your work, knowing that I'm keeping her protected.
Well, we appreciate that, let me tell you. But maybe not right now, but when I've had a bit more time to prepare, I'll call back on you and see what we can do to make sure she's properly at rest.
No hurry. She's very safe here.
I'm sure she is.
Mr. Lloyd, take the condition conspicuous.
That's the opposite of what I want to be.
Let's end our phase with Mr. John. On a result of a 10+, narrative control falls to you. So I'd love to hear from you what happens.
I dip my fingers like I'm at a tea party kind of thing with the bowl. Just being like, finger sandwiches, what's happening? And he comes over and tries to show me, like, you put your hand like this. And as he leans down, I take him by the back of the head and push him down into the water. And the bubbles start spewing up in the cistern immediately. And he, is thrashing around like any human would. But then he begins to steam. And the steam that rises takes all of the water with it and coalesces into this girl now clinging to one of the buttresses of this abbey, like a gargoyle, and she retches and spews all of the water out at the two of us before dissipating and scurrying off. And Elijah coughs and sputters, only to realize that there is no water in his lungs. He looks up at me, and I go, "Told you, I can't tell you too much just yet. You never know who might be listening."
He falls to his knees in front of you and prays, not for his soul, but prays in gratitude for what you just did for him. Mr. John, as you leave the abbey, you pass by the front garden that some monks are tending to, and you start hearing horrified whispers and muffled cries of disgust as two monks with trowels digging into the earth start pulling out not roots, not weeds, but bones, small animal bones, hundreds of them. And that is a clue for the demon of Kilburn Abbey.
Good work you're doing there, boys. Keep it up. Idle hands are the devil's plaything. And I put on my Stetson and walk off into the night.
Shadows in the Smoke is a Kitten Marlowe production. This episode was edited and produced by Kim Dalton and featured a theme song by Jake Pierle. You can find out more about us by visiting kittenmarlowe.com, signing up for our newsletter, or following us on socials. For Discord access, an exclusive behind-the-scenes show, and more, visit patreon.com/kittenmarlowe and join Brett Wartzman, Aviana, Samuel Lewis, and Sarah Maccabee in supporting artist-driven storytelling. Thanks for listening.